Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. As you probably know by now, my name is Emma, aka Fleurs, and if you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Anyway, today we're here for a bit of a chill talk through video because I've got 20 ways, 20 items, 20 things to help you decorate your cliffs to make them look beautiful and really natural, which is one of the things I love to do. I think they really help make your cliffs pop, make your island pop, make it just look wonderful, essentially. So let's get started and let's talk about number one. So for number one, I'm going to talk about log stakes. Log stakes are probably one of my favourite items in the whole game because I just love how rustic they look. They act as a great alternative to fencing. There's just so many uses. And as you can see, I've got a couple in the background here where I've just placed them on the middle cliff, and you can also just see it peeking out over on the top cliff up there. If you can zoom in a little bit, there you go. So I just think that they look really natural, really cute, and you can obviously colorize them to however you want them on your island. You can turn them around. They look great from whatever angle. Sometimes I like to do them this way to frame trees and things, but most of the time I like to have them this way. And I also love the fact that you can push them over two tiles. So if you want to fill an area but you don't want too much clutter, then you can just leave them like this. Putting them over custom designs also looks really cute as well. For number two, I want to mention bug models. I know they're hard to come by, but when you get them and Flick delivers them to your mailbox, they are oh so worth it. They are a great decorating tool. I love to put them on top of my cliffs. As you can see here, we've got the moth model up there, and I love hiding them behind flowers and bushes, so it gives the illusion that there's some real life wildlife going on up there. And I just think they're super cute. There's so many different varieties, and they're definitely worth saving in your storage for that day when Flick comes to visit. The moths are probably one of my favourite. I also love the paper kite butterfly and the common butterfly because I think that they work perfectly with my island and my kind of aesthetic. But it's definitely something to think about if you haven't already. For number three, I'm going to talk about mushroom items. I know this is a bit of a wider category than some of the others, but I just think they're perfect for cliffs. They're so natural. If you get the colourings right to match your island, then they really look like they blend in and match perfectly. So here on my cliffs, I've got the white mushroom parasol, and I've also got the stool, which I've contrasted out. I've got the white kind of creamy parasol with the brown stool, and I think that they work perfectly together. They look like they're part of a little mushroom farm. I've also got some more items over to the right which we'll touch on later, but I think that they're really cute, and if you want something a bit different for your cliffs, then definitely something to think about. I also like the kind of partition. I think that's great. I just didn't have a lot of space up here in between the trees, and the mushroom stool, the mushroom log as well. That is so natural looking, and it's probably one of my favourite items in game. There's a whole bunch of them scattered across my island. The next, and probably one of the most obvious ones that I'm going to talk about, but it needs to be mentioned because perhaps people forget about them. I know I don't, hence why my name is Fleurs, but hey. Anyway, so for number four, I'm going to be speaking about flowers. Flowers are a great filler, and not only are they just a filler, they look fantastic too. You can use all the different colours if you want. You could have a certain theme for your island. As you guys probably know by now, I love the white flowers. That's just my personal preference, but maybe you want a red island with all red flowers. Maybe you have a certain colour palette. I know, like the purples, the oranges, those sorts of colours look perfect together. But I think that they really, when you blend them with other items, they really make your cliffs pop. So if you haven't already thought about using flowers on your cliffs, now is the time to do so. In at number 5, we're going to talk about log stools. Like the log stakes, log stools are one of the things that I absolutely love to put on cliffs because I think they're really versatile. You can put a bit of dirt under them, you can put a whole bunch of items on top of them to make them look really cute and fitting with the area. You could use mushrooms, acorns, etc, etc, but we'll go on to that later. And they kind of work to create the idea that maybe a tree's fallen down if you don't want to use a tree stump custom design. And again, they're really versatile in the way that you can colour them to whatever matches your island. In at number 6, we're going to talk about bushes. Again, like the flower one, this might be really obvious to some people, but maybe bushes are something that often get overlooked. I personally love them. I have a whole bunch of them on my island. Not only do I stick to one type, but I'll often mix it up. I do like the yellow olive tree bush, I think that's what it's called. Also the hibiscus bush, they're really cute. I just love the leaves. I actually prefer them just green, not with any flower on, because I love the foliage look that they give, especially in sort of foresty areas, which most of my cliffs are. And I love putting them next to waterfalls or at the edge. They look great if you've got kind of a sharp edge on your cliff and you're not really sure what to put there, then try a bush, it might look great. For number 7, I want to touch on the washing line. I absolutely love putting laundry areas on my island. Just little areas like this are just super cute and act as a great kind of filler areas and things like that. They also look great behind villager homes to give the idea that the laundry area for that particular house is up on a cliff, which I have one behind Deirdre's house and I think it looks really, really cute. But anyway, so for the laundry area, you can use the old washing line. You can obviously custom design that to match a particular area or colours on your island. You can also use the old wash tub. I just think that they look really natural, really rustic and perfect for sort of that kind of aesthetic. In at number 8, it's another obvious one, but it wouldn't be cliffs without some form of tree. Now, I love to mix my trees up on the different levels, and I love to mix some kinds of trees. Obviously, bamboo doesn't really fit on my island, but if you're making sort of a Japanese style island or even sprinkle islands, I've seen some beautiful bamboo trees on them, maybe an overgrown island. Either way, I love to use the cliffs to kind of mess with the perspective, make areas look really nice, put the trees behind things, in front of things. I just love trees and they definitely add to your cliffs. So when decorating your cliffs, don't forget about them. In at number 9, we have wild log benches. These again are super natural looking and I love that you can use them to create a really natural looking seating area. I don't know how many times I can say natural in this video, but yeah, I'm sorry if it just feels like a broken record, but they do, and they make a super cute spot to sit on, to relax, a nice little viewpoint, or alternatively, you could use them as like a fallen tree. That would look really cute. Maybe put an axe next to it, just a little area on top of a cliff that could look super, super cute. So in at number 10, we've got wooden fencing. Fencing is a great way to finish off an area on your cliff and also stop people falling off them, which is quite important. My favourite ones to use are the barbed wire, which I've got here to my left, and also the country fencing. That's super cute and very kind of rustic looking, which is really, really nice if you're trying to just put something on top of a cliff. You could use just one, or you could use a whole bunch, or put them along the side of the cliff like I have done here. Your opportunities are really endless. Well, they're not endless because you can't do diagonal, but there's lots of different ways you can use them. In at number 11 is custom designs. I'm sure some of you are already doing this, but I just want to highlight to everyone the different custom designs that you could use for on top of your cliffs. So here I've got my dirt version of the path with the cute flowers on. I've also got some little filler flower custom design, some cobblestones, and I've got a singular dirt path tile. There's also some over to the right in between the trees. You could also use mushrooms, you could use puddles. There's a whole bunch of custom designs out there that would look great on top of your cliffs. In at number 12, we have dropped acorns and dropped pine cones. Here I've put the pine cone on top of a dirt tile to help accent it. And I think it looks really cute. It looks as if it's literally just fallen off the tree and landed there perfectly. So that's one of my favourite things to do. I've just had to get my camera out here for number 13 just so I can zoom in and you can fully appreciate how adorable this is. So these are dropped skinny mushrooms, and like with the pine cones and the acorns, I've put them on top of the dirt tile, and I think they're so cute. They look like they're growing out of the ground like they do when they naturally spawn in during autumn. You could use any of the mushrooms to achieve this. I personally like the skinny mushrooms and the round mushrooms. They're some of my favourites. And again, they just look really natural, like they sprouted up under the tree. In at number 14, we've got some weeds. I know everyone's not massive fans of flowers, so weeds are a great alternative to that. As with that, they are also great mixed amongst trees, flowers, bushes. They look really, really great, and there's so many variations of them. So here we've got the little 2 spiky ones, and then over here we have some that looks like clovers. Obviously these vary throughout the season and they're not always guaranteed, but if you don't find the one that you like, just pick it up again and plant another one until you do. Okay, that one was the same one, but you get the gist. Just keep playing around with them and trust me, you will like them. Disclaimer though, if you have too many weeds on your island, it may affect your rating. But if you're here for the aesthetics, then go crazy with weeds. In at number 15, we have stone items. My personal favourite is the garden rock. As you can see up to the left above the waterfall, we have one placed on top there. I love using these, especially around the waterfalls, because in real life you see a lot of rock formations and things like that. So that's why I like to tie them in, and they look great, rotate whatever way round you want to have them. Also, if you want to use the flat rocks, they would also look great. Pond stones are wonderful as well, so you can really mix them up and use what works for you. In at number 16, perhaps another obvious one, but I just want to remind you guys that when you are creating your cliffs, don't forget to add water. So on top of my cliff here, I've got a little pond which leads down into a sunken waterfall. I don't know if you can see that because my map's in the way, but it does. And you could have little tiny ponds, you could have big ponds, you could even use waterfalls. I just think that they look really nice on top of your cliffs and definitely something to remember. You could have a little stream, or over here I've got the little waterfall as well with a tiny little mini pond. Really, really cute way to add them to your cliffs. In at number 17, we have green leaf piles. Obviously there's different colour variations on this with different seasonal items. The green leaf pile is probably one of my favourite given the time of year that I'm in. Maybe for autumn I would switch it out. But for now I think they look great in forest areas, underneath the trees, on your paths. As you can see here, I've got a few dotted around leading backwards. And I love when you run through them and the leaves fly everywhere. I think it's one of the most adorable things in the game. Look. For number 18, I'm going to talk about fossils. As you can see, I'm at my museum, but there's nothing to say that you couldn't do this amongst your island. I have put a number of different ones up on the cliffs around the museum. The amber one is definitely one of my favourites, And then I think the one over to the right up here is the Trilobite. Really, really cute. Depending on what sort of island theme you've got, you could definitely put them throughout. There's some ones that definitely look more natural, like they would be fitting perfectly anywhere you put them. In at number 19, we have the Mario mushroom platforms. I've gone for the small one, but there's nothing to say you couldn't use the bigger ones. And I just love them. I wasn't expecting much from the Mario update, but if anything, I've taken these from them. And they are a super cute addition to the autumn mushroom items that we already have in game. And I love the different colours. And I just think they're really cute. And you can put stuff on them. I only learnt this the other day and it's absolutely blown my mind. So in at number 20, we have wands. Now, if you're worried about your drop limit, then these are definitely the way to go. So as you can see, this is a placed mushroom wand. Yes, I know they're expensive and it will take a while to get up your collection of wands. You'll need to see Celeste a lot of times, but boy, I think they're worth it. I love these and I love the flower ones to place down. The Cosmos one is definitely one of my favourites, but it just means that you don't have to drop the mushrooms, you can actually physically place them down and they look really, really adorable. So guys, that's the end of the video. I really hope you've enjoyed it and maybe it's given you some inspiration for when you decorate your cliffs next. So that's all from me and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.